It's my pleasure to introduce somebody whose the Divine Mercy is also very near and dear to his heart, having come from a family whose father was a doctor. Archbishop Aquila has been very interested and very supportive of all the activities associated with Divine Mercy. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce the Most Reverend Archbishop Aquila, Samuel Aquila from the Archdiocese.
Thank you very much. It is good to be here with you this evening, and especially to support the mission of Divine Mercy Supportive Care and Hospice. As Larry shared with you, my dad was a physician. He died back in 1988. He chose to die in a hospital, and it was a daily commute of over 45 minutes from our home, often in heavy traffic, to go to see him during that time. It was in Los Angeles. My mother, on the other hand, chose to die at home. And when she was diagnosed with cancer, it was a tremendous surprise for all of us because she was very vibrant, looked good, and had very few symptoms. But she was filled with cancer, and the doctors gave her 4 months to live. She lived for over 11 months, and the last 5 months I was flying back and forth every 2 weeks to see her, to care for her, and to manage things for her. Her cancer had spread to her brain, and because of that, we needed people to help. And one of my aunts came forward and said, "We will help you with it." And there was a group of nuns that she was really close to, and they would come and help. And then also we turned to hospice, but it was not a Catholic hospice. It was a secular hospice, and so I ended up doing the pastoral care for her at that time. And I recognized how tremendously important it was, because hospice itself really did not understand, the secular hospice, how much faith means to people and part of the journey of dying. And I remember towards the last week of her life, she shared with me at one point, she said, "I am climbing a mountain where there is a tremendous number of people." She said, "The beauty is incredible, and the sunlight is amazing." And she said, "And it is just beautiful and so peaceful." And I said, "Mother," I said, "just keep your eye on that and get to the top, because that's where you want to go. And God will be there for you." And on the day that she died during the singing of the Ave Maria, because we would play Gregorian chant for her. And her death was a beautiful death. People will look at me like, how can death ever be beautiful? But it was filled with faith, and it was filled with a peace about it. One of my sisters asked me, who is somewhat of an eclectic believer, asked me, she said, "How can you be so peaceful?" And I said, "Because I know that she journeyed in faith, and she walked with Christ to the end, and He was there for her." And that is the kind of mission that Divine Mercy can provide. All of us know the great secularism that is overtaking our society. Recently, in the last few days, I was interviewed by La Voz, which is a Spanish publication here within the Archdiocese, because of an article that was in the New York Times that was entitled "Aid in Dying." And that is a new euphemistic term, similar to pro-choice with abortion, that people are using instead of assisted suicide. They shun the term assisted suicide and want to look at this as something that is compassionate to do, to help people take an overdose, to help people take their own lives, or to give more treatment. And all of us know, hopefully, within the Catholic moral teaching, in terms of just the care for people, that as death approaches, you do not have to go to extraordinary means. At one point, the doctor said to me, he said, I have to ask you, do you want to put your mother on oxygen? And I said, doctor, I said, she is down to 75 pounds. I said, what good is the oxygen going to do? And he said, well, it'll probably make her much more conscious, and she'll be able to say goodbye to people. And I said, she did that about 6 weeks ago for Mother's Day. I said, when I was home, she had me call the people she wanted to say goodbye to. And I said, that's all taken care of. So I don't see any need to put her on oxygen. And he said, well, you are the one who is her medical person, so you can make that decision. But with that, it's important for us to recognize all that is there when a person is dying from a Catholic perspective, and to really help those people who truly desire to have a Christian death and to have a death that is focused on faith. And oftentimes in our hospitals, in some of the hospices, as good as they can be, they lack that faith dimension. The only place that I have ever seen it is in the homes of the Little Sisters of the Poor. And there they do provide that kind of faith dimension. And but they don't have homes for everybody who's dying, and nor can they assist that. And so when I heard about the mission and the work of Divine Mercy, and because of my own experience, I very much support the work that they are doing, the ministry that they want to do, and I want to extend my deep gratitude to all of you for supporting that mission and that work. Thank you very much.